That afternoon, the rain wouldn't stop. It pounded on the windscreen of my ancient Subaru as I pulled into the nursery parking lot in northeast Portland. My phone buzzed in the cup holder, a shrill ping that broke the pattern of the wipers. I looked at it, expecting to see Christopher's regular text about getting groceries or Mia's latest fixation with strawberry yogurt. The words on the screen, moving to Barcelona with Claire, took my breath away. Moved money from my savings account to my account. Good luck paying your rent. My fingers froze on the wheel, and the world shrank down to that flashing screen. My 5-year-old daughter Mia was presumably inside, holding her paint-splattered backpack and waiting for me to sign her out. I was 38-year-old Zinnia Harper, a freelance illustrator who had given up late-night design obligations for bedtime stories. And now, it seems, Christopher Caldwell's ex-wife has blown up our lives with just one text. Our funds of $14,500, which we built up over 9 years of marriage, every freelancing job, and every postponed holiday, are gone. There was $412 in the checking account. The rent of $2,400 was due in 4 days. I forced myself out of the car, rain soaking my hoodie as I crossed the lot. Inside, the daycare smelled of crayons and apple juice, a comforting chaos. Mia ran to me, her dark curls bouncing, her voice bright. "Mommy, did you bring my bunny crackers?" I knelt, pasting on a smile that felt like a lie. "Not today, sweet pea. How about we grab some on the way home?" My hands trembled as I signed the clipboard, the daycare teacher's cheerful chatter fading into static. Christopher's text looped in my mind, each word a fresh cut. Claire was his assistant, all sharp heels and sharper ambition, always lingering too long at his office parties. I'd ignored the warning signs, his late nights, the locked phone, the way he'd brush off my questions with a laugh. Now those signs were a neon billboard. In the car, Mia buckled into her booster seat, humming a song about rainbows. "Is Daddy making tacos tonight?" she asked, her brown eyes meeting mine in the rearview mirror. "Daddy's on a trip," I said, the words tasting bitter. "We'll have pizza instead." Her face lit up, oblivious to the fault lines cracking beneath our lives. I typed a reply to Christopher, "Thanks for the heads up." 3 words to mask the scream building in my chest. My heart pounded, not just from anger, but from the sudden, suffocating weight of survival. How do you keep a roof over your daughter's head when your world's been gutted? I gripped the wheel tighter, the Portland skyline blurring through the rain, and vowed Mia would never see me break. Back at our cramped Portland apartment, I tucked Mia in front of her favorite cartoon, her giggles a fleeting anchor in the storm. The rain had followed us home, drumming against the windows as I dialed the bank. My stomach nodded. The representative's voice was polite, detached, confirming Christopher had drained our savings, $14,500, into an account I couldn't access. "Since it's a joint account, ma'am, there's nothing we can do," she said. I checked our checking account online, $412. Not even enough for groceries and utilities, let alone rent. I sank onto the couch, the weight of Christopher's betrayal pressing against my ribs. 9 years ago, at a design conference in Seattle, he'd swept me off my feet with handwritten notes tucked into my sketchbook and promises of a life built together. I was a graphic designer then, climbing the ladder at a small firm, my dreams fueled by late-night coffee and ambition. Christopher, a marketing hotshot, had a smile that could sell anything, including a future I believed in. We married fast, moved to Portland for my promotion, and bought a small condo by the Willamette River. When Mia arrived, I scaled back to freelancing, trading boardroom pitches for bedtime stories, while Christopher's career carried us. But cracks had formed. Unexplained charges on our credit card, dinners, hotels, appeared 2 years ago after we sold our condo to fund Christopher's friend's startup, a venture that collapsed in months. He'd brushed off my questions, citing market risks, and I'd trusted him, ignoring the receipts for late-night dinners he claimed were client meetings. His mother, Margaret, never helped. She'd breeze into our lives from Seattle, her designer heels clicking with disapproval. "Mia needs discipline, Zinnia," she'd say, her eyes flicking over my paint-stained jeans. "You're too soft." Christopher never defended me, his silence a quiet betrayal. My phone rang, shattering the memory. Margaret's voice was ice. Zinnia, what have you done? Christopher says you're keeping Mia from him unless he pays you more. I gripped the phone, stunned. Christopher told me he's moving to Spain with Claire. He took our savings, Margaret. I'm not the one lying. Don't play the victim, she snapped. I've seen the texts. You're threatening to cut him off from his daughter. Her words were a punch, revealing Christopher's deeper game. He wasn't just leaving, he was spinning a story to paint me as the villain. I ended the call, my hands shaking, not just from anger, but from the dawning fear that this fight was bigger than money. It was about Mia, about truth, about the life I'd promised her. I looked at her, coloring happily on the floor, and felt a resolve harden inside me. Christopher thought he could erase us. He was wrong. The next morning, after dropping Mia at daycare, I drove to Christopher's office downtown, the Portland rain a gray curtain over the city. I needed answers, needed to see his face, to believe the man I'd married wasn't this cruel. The receptionist's smile faltered when I asked for him. Mr. Caldwell resigned last week, she said, her fingers fidgeting with a pen. Yesterday was his last day. Last week. My voice sounded hollow, like it belonged to someone else. He was here Monday. She avoided my eyes. He submitted his resignation 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, I can't discuss personnel matters. 2 weeks. While I'd been planning Mia's preschool art show, Christopher had been dismantling our life. I thanked her, my legs numb as I walked to the elevator, the truth sinking in. This wasn't impulsive. It was calculated. In the parking garage, I called Christopher's friend Sam, who'd always been kind but distant. Hey, Zinnia, he answered, his voice cautious. You okay? You knew, I said, the accusation slipping out. You knew he was leaving. His silence was answer enough. He made me swear not to tell, Sam finally said. Said he needed a clean break, that Claire made him happy and you and Mia would be better off without him. Happy? The word burned. He took our savings, Sam. Did he tell you that? Jesus. No, he said, his voice low. That's? I didn't think he'd go that far. I hung up, the betrayal a fresh wound. Back home, a certified letter waited, Christopher's divorce petition, filed a week ago, listing his Barcelona address and relinquishing all parental rights to Mia. A note from his lawyer claimed I had substantial savings to cover our needs, a lie that twisted the knife. I searched Christopher's desk, desperate for anything to fight back. In a drawer, beneath old bills, I found an envelope addressed to Margaret. Inside, a birthday card with a note. Mom, thanks for the Barcelona apartment deposit. Claire and I can't wait to show you our place. Couldn't have done this without you. Love, Christopher. The card was dated 3 months ago, when Christopher first mentioned his promotion. Margaret hadn't just known, she'd bankrolled his escape. My hands shook as I photographed the card, rage and clarity colliding. This was no longer about saving our marriage. It was about saving Mia's future. I sat across from Anna Gwynn in her modest Portland office, the Willamette River glinting through the window. Anna, a divorce attorney recommended by an old college friend, had a no-nonsense warmth that steadied me. I handed her the divorce petition, the bank statements, and the photo of Christopher's note to Margaret. He took everything, I said, my voice cracking. And he's trying to make me the bad guy. Anna's eyes narrowed as she reviewed the documents. What Christopher did isn't entirely illegal. Joint accounts give him access, but it's despicable. Judges don't take kindly to this. We can file for emergency child support and try to freeze his assets. She leaned forward. We need proof he's earning income while dodging his responsibilities. I nodded, clutching screenshots of Christopher's text and the bank transfer. That evening, my parents called from Eugene, their voices a lifeline. We're covering your rent, Mom said firmly. You're not alone, Zinnia. Their support eased the knot in my chest, giving me space to breathe, to fight. Later, with Mia asleep, I searched Christopher's abandoned desk again. On our shared laptop, I found an unsent email in his drafts, addressed to Claire, with an attached resume listing his new job at Horizon Global in Barcelona, starting 2 days after his text. My heart raced. This was the proof Anna needed. I forwarded it to her, my fingers trembling with a mix of hope and fury. Christopher thought he could vanish, but I was finding the threads of his lies, pulling them apart one by one. For Mia, I'd become relentless. In the quiet of midnight, with Mia's soft snores drifting from her room, I sat at the kitchen table, Christopher's laptop open. I'd remembered his predictable passwords, Mia's birthday, our anniversary, and tried them on his cloud storage. It worked. Folders spilled open, each a piece of his betrayal, transfer confirmations, emails to Claire, and a document labeled custody plan. My stomach churned as I read it. Christopher and Margaret planned to use my postpartum depression, which I'd fought through with therapy, to paint me as an unstable mother and take Mia to Spain. The words blurred as tears stung my eyes. I trusted Christopher during those dark months after Mia's birth, when sleep was a stranger and despair clung like damp fog. He'd seemed supportive, bringing me coffee, urging me to see a therapist. Now I saw it for what it was, ammunition. Worse, Margaret's text to him, dated months ago, laid it out. Once you're settled in Spain, we can push for custody. Her history gives us leverage. Among the files was a screenshot of a Cayman Islands account with our $45,000 set up with Margaret's help years ago. The discovery wasn't just a financial lifeline, it was proof of their conspiracy. I sent everything to Anna, my hands shaking, not from fear, but from a growing fire. Christopher and Margaret thought they could erase me from Mia's life. They didn't know I'd fight like hell to keep her safe. My phone rang as I was helping Mia with a finger painting project, her laughter a brief reprieve. The number was unknown, but the voice was unmistakable. Claire, her usual confidence frayed. "Zinnia, we need to talk," she said. "Christopher's falling apart, and I'm done." "Why should I care?" I asked, keeping my voice low so Mia wouldn't hear. "He's hiding money from me, too," Claire said. "Another account in Liechtenstein, over $200,000. He booked a flight to Portland tomorrow, and he's unhinged. I'm worried what he'll do." I stepped onto the balcony, the Portland skyline dim under clouds. "What do you want, Claire?" "Protection," she said. "If I give you evidence, I need immunity. Christopher will come after me when he knows I talked." I consulted Anna, who crafted a deal. Immunity for Claire in exchange for full documentation. By evening, Claire sent bank statements showing the Liechtenstein account, plus a sworn statement detailing Christopher and Margaret's months-long plan to abandon us and secure Mia. Her betrayal of Christopher wasn't loyalty to me, it was self-preservation, but it gave me the final piece I needed. As I saved the files, my heart pounded with a strange mix of dread and triumph. Christopher was coming back, but I was ready. The Portland courthouse was a cold, imposing building, but Anna's steady presence grounded me as we prepared for the emergency hearing. Inside, we faced Christopher's lawyer, a slick man in a tailored suit, and, to my surprise, Margaret, her face a mask of disdain. "You should be ashamed," she hissed. But Anna cut her off, warning she'd be called as a witness for aiding Christopher's abandonment. In the courtroom, Anna laid out her case with surgical precision. Christopher's text, the drained savings, the Barcelona job, the Cayman and Liechtenstein accounts, and the custody conspiracy. The custody plan document, detailing their intent to use my depression against me, drew a sharp glance from the judge. Christopher's lawyer tried to spin me as the aggressor, but the judge silenced him. "I've seen enough," she said, her voice steel. She granted our motions. Christopher's accounts were frozen. I received temporary full custody of Mia, and Christopher was restricted to supervised visitation. As we left, Margaret's glare followed me, but I felt a flicker of victory. For the first time, I wasn't just surviving, I was fighting back and winning. The next morning, my phone rang, an international number. "This is Lucia Vega, HR at Horizon Global, Barcelona," a woman said. "We received an email from you about Christopher Caldwell's employment. He was terminated yesterday for undisclosed legal issues." "I didn't send any email," I said, my pulse quickening. Lucia forwarded the message, allegedly from me, with distorted claims about Christopher's custody dispute and copies of my legal documents. My apartment was untouched, leaving one suspect, Margaret. She'd visited after Christopher's text, offering support while rummaging through my files. This was her move to sabotage Christopher's job, ensuring he couldn't pay support and weakening our court order. Christopher called minutes later, his voice raw with rage. "You got me fired, Zinnia." "It was your mother," I said, forwarding him the email. "Check the documents." "She had access when she was here." He went silent, then muttered, "I'll call you back." An hour later, he sent texts between him and Margaret, revealing her plan to undermine me from the start, including pushing for Mia's custody by painting me as unstable. The betrayal cut both ways. Christopher hadn't known the full extent of her manipulation. I sent everything to Anna, who filed for identity fraud charges. Margaret's schemes were unraveling, and I was one step closer to justice. With Claire's evidence in hand, Anna secured an emergency restraining order hours before Christopher's flight landed in Portland. Airport security detained him, serving the order and a summons for the next day's hearing. His call from the security office was venomous. "I came to fix things, Zinnia, with a one-way ticket." I shot back. Claire's intel proved true. "See you in court." The hearing was a reckoning. Anna presented the Liechtenstein account, the custody conspiracy, and Margaret's identity fraud. Christopher's lawyer floundered, his defense crumbling under the weight of evidence. The judge ordered a forensic accounting, uncovering not just our $45,000, but additional funds Margaret had hidden for Christopher. The courtroom felt electric, each ruling a brick in the wall I was building around Mia's future. Christopher's defiance faded, his eyes meeting mine with something like regret. But I was done searching for the man I thought I knew. The months after the hearing brought a quiet justice. The forensic accounting exposed Christopher and Margaret's hidden funds, leading to civil penalties for both. Margaret faced identity fraud charges, her social standing crumbling when her Seattle country club learned of her actions. Christopher's reputation in Portland's marketing world tanked, his abandonment detailed in public court records. He rarely used his supervised visitation rights, fading from Mia's life like a shadow. Claire returned to Spain, her immunity agreement a clean break from Christopher's chaos. With the recovered funds, I bought a cozy condo in Portland's Alberta Arts District, its walls bright with Mia's paintings. I returned to full-time design work at a firm that valued my talent and offered flex hours for single moms. Mia thrived in her new preschool, her laughter filling our home. One evening, as I tucked her into her bunny-themed bed, she asked, "Will Daddy ever visit Mommy?" "I don't know, sweetheart," I said, brushing her curls. "But we're enough, you and me." Her smile was my anchor. Christopher's text, "Good luck with rent," had meant to break me. Instead, it sparked a strength I hadn't known I had, forged in the fire of betrayal and tempered by love for my daughter. I wasn't just surviving anymore. I was building a life, brushstroke by brushstroke. To everyone who's followed this journey, thank you. You've walked with me through betrayal, battles, and hard-won victories. If Zinnia and Mia's story moved you, hit subscribe and join us. Every canvas we paint tells a story of resilience, love, and new beginnings. Keep creating your own truth, and I'll meet you at the easel.